Today I want to provide a little deeper insight to how your type can tend to change during times of stress and during times of growth. It's important to remember that your Enneagram type is fluid and, depending on the circumstance, can show up in a variety of ways, ranging from very healthy to average to unhealthy. Another way to say this would be, depending on the situation, are you using your Enneagram superpowers for good, or are your Enneagram superpowers not serving you well in that moment? This is self-awareness that can be gained by learning about something like the Enneagram. So, I want you to imagine yourself on a timeline, going through your life, experiencing the world through the lens of your Enneagram type. We all tend to move along our timelines every day with this lens, and how you typically behave is rooted in this type. So for me, I'm a 6, and on an average day, I will be reacting and behaving somewhere along the spectrum of using my 6 powers for really positive things, like confidence in a decision I've made without second guessing it, or flexing my loyalty muscle to help see a commitment through all the way to the end. Or some less productive 6 tendencies like continuously challenging or judging something that can then become a barrier to moving on to the next thing. As we move through life, we are always somewhere along our own Enneagram spectrum, and if nothing ever changed around us, we'd most likely stay right there and be pretty content from day to day. But, as we all know, our days are not always average, and along our timeline, we encounter events and experiences daily that trigger change in our behavior. Easier said, the only thing constant is change. Building your awareness around how you may tend to act in these situations will help you to operate in the most healthy and productive areas of your type, and in the types you lean towards during times of growth and times of stress. Finally, don't confuse the word stress as a purely negative word. For the purposes of today, think of stress as situational or a change you can encounter in your environment. This trigger can teach us important things about how we grow from our experiences. Once stress occurs, or the change in your environment, you can begin the longer-term work of intentional growth. Developing new patterns of growth is slow, and it happens over time. So, let's dive in and look at how your type can show up during times of stress or change and in times of growth. Now that you know a bit more about how change can affect your type and what true growth looks like, take some time to discuss with your colleagues your own experiences. You may find that your group has a common experience, for example, living through the year of 2020, that you can discuss. Or feel free to discuss another experience that you've had that's major in your life, becoming a parent, moving to a new city, working in a new job, or navigating through a family crisis are a few memorable experiences many of us have had. Feel free to reference the slide and keep in mind that stress really just means change. It doesn't have to be negative. Change is situational. Healthy and sustainable growth is intentional and takes time. At the end of your breakout, you will be notified by a countdown that your time is coming to a close, and you will be directed back to the main screen. But please don't let the conversation and connection with your colleagues stop here today. My hope is that you will continue to connect with each other and share your experiences, and most importantly, what's working for you. Thank you, and enjoy your conversations. As an Enneagram 2, your type is most well known for being a helper who is caring, generous, friendly, and warm-hearted. Highly self-aware 2s balance unconditional generosity with no expectation of reciprocity, and they focus on bringing out others' strengths as well as understanding their own value. Healthy 2s are humble, appreciative, and forgiving. At an average level of self-awareness, a 2 can be both productive and excessive, and may be referred to as a people pleaser. They can express concern with how they are perceived and have a desire to create a positive impression on others. They really do want to be liked by everyone. At a low level of self-awareness, a 2 may offer or support or help in a way that is invasive or comes with strings attached. They may act very friendly but communicate resentment. The lowest level of self-awareness for a 2 is when they become inattentive of their own needs altogether and appear needy and demanding of others. In a stress moment, or situational change in their environment, 2s tend to lean towards the tendency of an Enneagram 8. An unhealthy reaction can look like becoming very demanding about their needs, not getting met, or feeling like they are being controlled by others. The best case scenario in times of change, though, is when a 2 can set healthy boundaries to protect their time or what's important to them. Through time and experience, an Enneagram 2 is truly growing when they are able to balance some of the main tendencies of our expressive Enneagram 4s. Sometimes this growth may endure a period of time where 2s become more withdrawn. However, at their healthiest growth periods and when in balance, 2s are in touch with their wide range of feelings as well as their own needs. A healthy 2 is committed to self-care and will find ways to express how they feel, even if it's not convenient or advisable to do so.